You want to know the real reason that Dr. Dre is getting divorced and why you should care? I'm breaking it all down in this video, so stay tuned. Hi, I'm Rebecca Zung. I'm an attorney, I am an author, and I am a narcissist negotiation expert. On this channel, I give you tips, tricks, resources, and all sorts of ways that you can shift the dynamic with narcissists and become the most powerful person in any room in which you walk into. And if that sounds good to you, then go ahead and subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. So let's talk about Dr. Dre and what is actually going on and why you might want to care as well. So as you all may know, Dr. Dre is one of the wealthiest people on the planet. And why is that? Well, because he was one of the guys who was behind Beats, you know, those headphones, and he sold Beats for something like 3 billion. Yeah, that's billion with the B. And he did all that while he was married to his beautiful wife, Nicole. Yep. And they got divorced. Well, I guess they filed for divorce on June 29th, 2020, after 24 years of marriage. Yeah, it came to a kind of an abrupt halt. And it seemed like actually a surprise because leading up to the divorce, they were holding hands, they were all smiles. They were at events, they were holding hands, they were talking nicely about each other, they were doing things together. It seemed like, you know, everything was all good, but you know how it is, right? I mean, normally you never really know what goes on behind closed doors. I mean, even me, I was a divorce attorney for a really long time before I started doing this pretty much full time. And I even, you know, I would see people out and about and I would be at events and I would be seeing people together and I would be like, oh yeah, they've consulted with me and they've consulted with me and there they are together and there they are together. You know, you never really know what goes on behind closed doors, frankly. And there's lots of reasons why people stay together. You know, I mean, kids, money, prestige. I mean, who knows, right? So Dr. Dre, aka Andre Young, who was married to his wife, Nicole. Apparently, they didn't sign a prenup. Or at least that's the word on the street. And by the way, I have a whole video on celebs who haven't signed prenups. And if you want to check it out, and in that video, I break down why you need a prenup, why you don't need a prenup, what you can cover in a prenup, what you can't cover in a prenup, kind of in general terms. Obviously, there's laws that govern that as well. But if you want to know all about that, you can definitely check out my video on that topic as well. But, you know, if they don't have a prenup, it could make sorting things out a little bit of a messy process. But anyway, apparently, you know, she was asking for a lot of different things, but they weren't really talking about what actually had them, you know, calling it quits. But, you know, leading up to the divorce, they were like at Hamilton, they were at like a Tom Ford event. But, you know, the thing is, sometimes you just got to get out, right? I mean, sometimes your soul just knows that it's time to break free. I know I was in that situation myself in my first marriage. I'm happily married to my second husband now, but you know, my first marriage, I had 3 kids. I got married at 19 the first time, and I had 3 kids by the time I was 22. And I know that I was in a situation where I was like, you know, and I wasn't married to a narcissist or anything, but I just remember like thinking, I don't want my kids to think that this is an example of a loving relationship, that this is an example of what marriage should look like. I remember actually, like, I was at a baseball game. One of my sons played baseball, and so we were like together all the time with these other parents. And the one mom came in, and she was like so excited. She and her husband were going to get to go spend a weekend away alone with her, because I guess in-laws were going to come in and watch the kids, and she was going to get to be alone with her husband. And I remember thinking, like, I really have no desire to be alone with my husband. I remember thinking, oh, that's probably bad. Yeah. So, like, I just knew, like, I just needed to be free. And so sometimes, and that's why I called my first book, the book I wrote on divorce, I called it Breaking Free. And I cover, emotional freedom and physical freedom, which is like the whole divorce section, like how to actually physically get divorced. And then like your spiritual freedom, because, they're kind of all happening at the same time. But to me, it was like freedom, right? And so I just know, like, sometimes you just know you just need to be free, and your soul knows it needs to be free. And if you're watching this right now and you know that in your heart, I'm right on this, just give me the word free below. Just write free. Like, just even writing that word, doesn't it like feel like you feel like your energy shift, right? You just feel lighter just writing that word. Can you feel that? So apparently, Dr. Dre has like this dark history with women. And to my knowledge, neither Dr. Dre nor his wife, Nicole, has never actually come right out and divulged the details of their divorce. But he does have a controversial history with women, and multiple women have accused him of abuse and infidelity, of course. And apparently, he even addressed his dark past in a 2015 interview with the New York Times, not just like some smutty thing, like the New York Times. And he said, I'm doing everything I can to never resemble that man again. I want to apologize to the women I've hurt. I deeply regret what I did, and I know that it has forever impacted all of our lives. The Straight Outta Compton rapper also addressed his past in an HBO docuseries, The Defiant Ones, which, by the way, is really cool series. It was a very interesting series if you ever want to check it out. Jimmy Iovine was in it, and really interesting. And he actually said there, any man who puts his hands on a female is an effing idiot. And he's out of his effing mind. I was out of my effing mind at the time. I have a very dark cloud that follows me. It's going to be attached to me forever. It's a major blemish on who I am as a man. So, there was that. And who knows, like, if that really ever, came back to haunt him or whatever. But it is a good time for me to actually bring up here that if any of you are in a relationship where you feel like you are not in a powerful position, or you are feeling abused, or you are feeling in a place where you are not feeling safe, then I think it's one thing to say, hey, make a plan, go to therapy, try to, negotiate your way out of a situation, use negotiation skills, create strategy, create leverage. That's a very different thing than, hey, your safety is at risk here. If your safety is at risk, then you need to call the police. You need to go to a safe house. You need to maybe go to a shelter. You need to maybe get an injunction. If you feel that there is you've been sexually assaulted, you could call the sexual assault hotline, which, I will put all of the numbers below here in the show notes. But the National Sexual Assault Hotline is 1-800-656-HOPE, or you could visit RAINN for additional resources there, RAINN.org for that. I don't want to, say, oh, you can just negotiate your way out of anything like that, because you certainly definitely can't. So, I don't know what happened with exactly with Dr. Dre. I mean, my guess is that maybe they grew apart, or, maybe there was some sort of infidelity or whatever. But I just felt like this was a good opportunity to bring up that if you feel like you are in a relationship that is not safe, that you should do what you need to do to get out of the relationship and get yourself to a safe place. For those of you who are out there who are negotiating and you do want to get the free Crush My Negotiation prep worksheet, you are certainly welcome to do that at winmynegotiation.com. And you are always welcome to join my free private Facebook group at Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung. And if you like this video and you want to give me a thumbs up, you are certainly welcome to do that. If you want to share this video, please share it and drop me a comment and subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. And I am so glad that you are here and that you are part of my community. I'm Rebecca Zung, and thanks so much for stopping by. And I will see you in the next video.